Hello everyone, today's video is going to be a doozy. Today we're going to talk about Beau Demayo exposing Marvel. Actually, this thing happened 2 weeks back, plus I didn't write a script for this video. And before we get started, I would advise you guys to grab a snack, because this is gonna get interesting. From Cosmic Book News, X-Men 97 creator rips Marvel. Horrible meetings, no respect for the comics. I mean, it's blatantly obvious at this point.
Oh man! Oh god! Oh man!
To those asking why I'm not so hard on Superman, the answer is I've never worked with Gunn or DC. Like Matt Shackman and the writers of the Fantastic Four, I've sat in the creative meetings at Marvel Studios. They're horrible. Damn, must be boring.
Why?
Basically sit in a room with Kevin and Louis Desposito and try to pitch a movie while also realizing that Kevin just wants you to dictate his rushed thoughts. Victoria used to be in these, but Kevin and Lou had so mistreated her that in one of my Blade meetings, she just showed up with sugar cookies she would bake to help improve morale. You're even told not to try to pitch ideas from the comics cause Louis isn't a big comic guy and it will turn him off.
You what?
You sit and talk about craft and story and characters only to have Kevin and Lou say, yeah, well, all we need to do is make sure it's fun, and etc.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
There's no spark, there's no vision. Marvel is a slaughterhouse factory where you watch fresh meat get spoiled as it slowly makes its way through the assembly gears of mediocre thinking and this weird hatred for their own product. This is why Rob Liefeld isn't just some bitter old man. Talking about the comic book writers is met with open contempt. I had to fight to get Llewellys involved in X-Men 97, and even then, the dismissive news with which Dan spoke about them, basically telling me the OG creators were meant to be seen, not heard, to appease fans. I wanted to co-write an episode with them, and that was Dana's response. I even remember wanting to talk to Chris Claremont and being shut down, or wanting Joe to do posters just as I was scolded for being too friendly with fans or coming off too much as one. This was in a meeting where I was pitching that we could use Blade as a chance to pick up the dangling threads from Doctor Strange 2. When it came to Wanda and the Darkhold, we could use Varnier and the Darkhold cultists. One of my drafts opened with Deacon Frost tricking some British explorers to trek up to the mountain Wundagore, where he does blood magic to reveal the vampire spell used by Vernier and his followers during the days of Null. It would start trying some of these threads together. I even had the same monsters from Doctor Strange show up to kill the explorers before Deacon Frost reveals he's a vampire and kills them. Up until that point, he would have been covered against the cold and daylight. This was set before Doctor Strange 2, so a lot of stuff played ironically, while also having Frost give us more details about Chthon, who we only glimpsed in Doctor Strange 2. To Kevin's credit, he liked the idea, as well as my pitch that magic is to Blade what snakes are to Indiana Jones. He hates magic, but then Louis felt it was too comic booky, while Mahershala bumped on there being magic in the film tonally. And then I watched him and Nate Moore pick apart the script and they were off to a new draft. It's a broken machine, and so I can see where Matt and his team probably had good ideas, only for Marvel's ignorance to destroy them.
I'm trying, Mother. It's hard.
You're failing, Seymour. What is it about you and failure?
Now there's a lot to unpack here. Now first of all, it's no secret that these guys don't care about the source material. Every story they've adapted have completely been squandered around, like a side piece. Look at Secret Invasion. That event showed how dangerous the Skrulls are. It was filled with paranoia, large-scale battles. The heroes couldn't trust each other, not knowing who is friend or foe. This comic could have easily been adapted as a movie with a better build-up. But no, instead of a movie, we get a Disney Plus show, and the director is not told to read the comics. The Skrulls are treated by being oppressed, instead of them being a worthy adversary for the mighty Kree Empire. Plus, the show was complete garbage, and should be treated as such. Instead of having a comic-accurate Namor, who looks strong and imposing, who is the king of Atlantis, and is able to go toe-to-toe with Marvel's biggest hitters. No, he has to look chubby in most scenes, both physically and mentally, may do a few impressive moves, then disappears, and they don't even call him the Submariner. They call him Cuckoo Khan.
Hear me, humans! I am Namor, Prince of Atlantis. Your foul species is hereby banned from the seas and oceans of the world. Any who enter the waters will face my wrath. Imperious Rex!
Who are you?
Cuckoo Khan.
We can't have a comics though. We can't have a normal Hulk, or even a normal She-Hulk for that matter. No, but instead we had to be lectured by feminist retards who hate each other and hate their own fan base and love calling us trolls.
It will get called emotional or difficult or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Shut up, bitch!
We can't have the real Doctor Doom. No, instead he has to be used for a cheap multiverse gimmick, which will damage the character, and audiences will think that this is an evil Iron Man, instead of him just being Doctor Doom. Instead of giving us a Ghost Rider show, they give us an Echo show, who's a character that doesn't have any comics to her name, and no one cares about her. She was only used for cheap diverse points. I can go on and on, but my point is that these guys aren't even trying to even use the comics to dictate the MCU. I don't know if what Beau Demayo is saying on this tweet is true or false, but it is kinda true, because if you've watched Marvel's recent movies and shows, majority of them have no spark or vision. Like this guy slap a comic book on the board and see if it will stick. Like seriously, here are the names that Beau Demayo has mentioned in this tweet. People like Kevin Feige, Victoria Alonso, Nate Moore, and Louis D'Esposito, who have worked for Marvel for a long time. These are the 4 people who are responsible for the MCU's success, and they're also responsible for the MCU's failure. We have Nate Moore. This is the fool who said that they don't hire writers and directors who are fans of the comics. Then we also have Victoria Alonso. This is the same chick who said that the name X-Men is outdated because there are a lot of female characters and it was problematic. Roll that clip, please.
Is going. It's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in that X-Men group, so I think it's outdated.
Get what you f***ing deserve!
Then we have Louis D'Esposito, who Beau mentioned that any idea that is pitched from the comics turns him off.
You're fired! Get out of here!
Then you have Kevin Feige, the man who's behind all of this. The man who was the head of the MCU. The man who gave us a franchise that was impossible to pull off, but he pulled it off. The same guy who wanted more female superheroes to outnumber the male superheroes.
Don't worry. She's got help.
Empowerment!
It's the same guy who approved of all these Phase 4 and 5 movies and shows. How are these guys even employed after this?
What the f***? What the f*** is wrong with you? What the f*** is wrong with you?
Marvel's in shambles right now. Projects like Quantumania, The Marvels, She-Hulk, Echo, Agatha, Ironheart, and so on wouldn't have happened if these guys were so full of themselves. Plus, majority of these projects aren't even faithful to the source. It's like these guys don't care about fan expectations. I love these comics, and it gets frustrating whenever someone puts their weird take on these characters. When will these guys realize that these things aren't childish? You guys have done this before. Why don't you do it again? All you have to do is just copy the work. So if these guys want more success, then do something more like X-Men 97. That's what people want, not this. And speaking of Blade, this movie has gone through multiple rewrites and has had multiple directors, and it should be cancelled at this point. These are the same people who call us racist for not liking their diverse stooges. However, they have trouble making a movie about a straight black masculine guy who wears shades and leather clothing with cool katanas and kills vampires. Hypocrites.
There's only been one blade. There's only ever going to be one blade.
Anyways, that's just a full tweet, and it's already nap time. So let me know in the comments what you think about Beau Demayo exposing Marvel and their multi-practices. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay safe, have a blessed day. And anyways, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.